Hey y'all, welcome to Tiffany's Project Bag Podcast. It has been a month. Maybe I'm on a monthly format now because I think the last time I had podcasted it had been about a month. Anything's going right now. Just taking it day by day. Um, First, I'm going to start off by letting you know that when I listened back to last time's show, I realized that I was maybe speaking a little softly. So I'm going to try to amplify myself a little bit, which, I'm surprised that it was soft because my husband says that I tend to yell when I speak because I'm so used to speaking to my grandmother who is hard of hearing, but no matter. I also need to speak up a little bit to accommodate for the wind. I hope that the microphone's not going to pick up a whole lot of that, but I can't help that. Inside was definitely windy because we have wind to air conditioned, and it's blowing right now because it is currently 83 with a real feel of 90, and that is 32 degrees Celsius for those of you that are not in the United States. So it's real hot is what I'm going to say. It's sticky. It is 70% humidity, so it's just miserable. In fact, I had my hair down, but I had to go inside and pull it up because I couldn't take it. I've got so much hair laying on my neck. So anyway, there's your weather forecast update. Actually, the forecast is that it's supposed to storm here in a bit, so I'm gonna try to move things along. I also don't really have a whole great deal of things to talk about this time, despite the fact that it's been a month, but we'll see what we come up with. I have finished a few things, and then I've got things in process and things to come, so I guess jump right in. First, I'll start with what I'm wearing. Obviously, I'm not wearing any knitwear. You can see my my socks there. Those jokers are going to be put away for, several months. I will not be needing them in the foreseeable future. So it was time to, get those put away. I'm in the process of washing all the winter coats and all that jazz. Yesterday I spent the entire day switching out winter and summer clothes, so that's the domestic stuff. So I'm not wearing any woolens, but I am wearing Color Street. I don't know, forward facing camera, you're not going to get details, but this is Positively Pink. It was the one of the sets for breast cancer awareness, and it was some leftovers that I had, so I thought I would throw those on for this time, something pretty and sparkly. So that is that. What I have completed is some spinning, actually. Well, the socks, what did I do with the second one? Here it is. The socks I was working on for my niece, I told her that after I showed them on the podcast, I would get them sent to her. Although she also will not be wearing hand knit socks anytime soon, I don't believe, as she lives a little further south than I do. But they'll be ready for her no matter when is the time. This is the Vanilla Latte sock pattern by Ginger Rose, or actually I don't know what her real actual name is. It's just escaped me. It's Virginia Jean something or another, but I have a project page, and it's the Vanilla Latte sock pattern, which is a pretty popular pattern. I have made it, I know, at least one other time, maybe more than that. My niece has a little bit bigger feet than I do, so it's a little bit longer than my form here, and I don't know what the form size is anyway, but and there is a second one. This yarn is the Kirby Werby. She's just renamed the base, but it's pretty much like her, I think she called it Old Standard. It's the 75-25 merino nylon. It's so it's the lighter weight. It's not the real high twist, but it works fine for my purpose. I think with this pair I used 70 grams, which typically for socks for me I use about 60. But I wanted to also give her a nice long leg. She's never had hand knit socks before. I gave her a pair that I didn't want any longer, but I think they were a little too tight for her because, as I said, her shoes are bigger than mine. So this is the garter stitch short row heel, which I really did like doing. It went very fast, and I will probably do it again. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else to say about it. So V, I've got some other things I'm going to send you along with these socks, and there you go. They're really pretty. They're fun. Cherie actually said that she wished she had kept a skein for herself, but alas, she didn't. You know, it's probably one of those things. You just can't keep them all, or else you'd never make any money. So, those are finished. I think they were on the needles for over a month, but, you know, I'd intended them for Neon April, and I did not get them finished in the entire month of April. So, I have a love-hate relationship with socks, so, you know, they're nice to have for a grab and go project, but they're not exactly my most favorite thing to work on. But they have a place in the rotation. So, the other thing I finished, well, two things I finished, were spinning project. Last time I showed you my electric eel wheel nano. Her name is Pixie Dust, and I had this fiber on there, and then gosh, over the weekend, today's Friday, May the 29th, which means it's been exactly 1 month since I last podcasted. Last weekend I just sat down and decided to pull out my wheel and just ply all the things. So I went ahead and finished spinning this yarn, and there's a gnat flying around me. Finished spinning it and then got it plied up. This is Superwash Targhee from Lady Llama Fiber Company. The colorway was Pansy Pandemonium. I really wish that I could get some focus, but alas, you'll have to go to my project page if you really, or Instagram. Let me pull up my notes here, because I do not remember what my yardage was, but it was pretty good. This was only 2 ounces because I don't remember if I mentioned it the last time. I probably did, but you know, you may not have been with me last time. Half of this braid went to a fiber swap that I did that Fiber Nymph Dye Works hosted. You took a 4-ounce braid, split it in half, sent half to your partner, and your partner sent half of theirs to you. And the point was to see, you know, kind of what 2 different spinners would do with the same fiber. I know my partner already spun hers up. I think she pretty well spun it up almost immediately, and it's been a while. It was last summer, so it's been a while. I started spinning this in October. What was my point? Fitbit's telling me I've got 162 steps to win the hour. I don't think it's going to happen, Fitbit. Anyway, distractions. I started spinning this in October, just finished it, 2 ounces, but listen to my yardage. It is 29 wraps per inch. Now this is a chain ply also, so that eats up, you know, some yardage. I spun this, like I said, on Pixie Dust, my little nano. So 29 wraps per inch of a 3-ply. And the yardage is 184 yards. So it's pretty thin. I guess light fingering, I don't know. But I'm going to find something fun to make with it, because the colors are really pretty. I don't know how well this is translating, but you know, yellow and dark purple. So Targhee is not my favorite fiber. It's hard to handle. It's real springy. It was okay. It was a little bit overspun, I think. I had some little piggy tails as I was plying it. Not too bad. And with the nano, I had the rotations turned up as high as I could get them. When I spin with a treadle wheel, I do also tend to spin pretty fast. So that's just the pace I'm used to feeding at. So pigtails are kind of my thing anyway. But thankfully there weren't too many of those in here, and I don't think there was, maybe 1 or 2 spots where it translated into the finished yarn. But you know, I'll have to find something pretty to do with this. And then I also applied some Cormo that I had started plying at the Into the Wool Fiber Retreat last September. I had just a little bit on the bobbin. I think I sat down over the course of 4 days. I think I sat down maybe a half an hour to spin. And that was what I was doing, was starting to ply this Cormo. I started spinning the Cormo in January of 2019, and I finished the singles somewhere around August, beginning of August. So, and then it took me over a year to completely finish the yarn. But it's finished now. And this is 21 wraps per inch. This was 5 ounces. My first time working with Cormo, and 21 wraps per inch, and it is 498 yards. So I've got a substantial amount. I don't know yet. No, actually, that's a lie. I found 2 potential patterns for this. One is a cow, and then one is, what is this? Mount Pleasant. Oh, it's a crop top. So potentially, maybe, I don't know. You know, I'll have to maybe skein it up, and not skein it up, swatch it up and see what becomes of it. But I bought this at the Smoky Mountain Fiber Arts Festival in 2018 from this shepherdess who is raising a flock of Cormo sheep right in Tennessee. So yeah, I would spin Cormo again. I did enjoy this process. If I can at all help it, I probably will stay away from Targhee from now on. This was my 2nd or 3rd experience with Targhee, and it's been the same every time. First time I did it, it was a different wheel, and I thought maybe it was just the wheel fiber combo. You know, I don't know. It's just not my thing. BFL is my favorite fiber of all time. So I guess I'm slowly learning what I don't like, more so than, you know, what's good. But that's what I really like about spinning, is that, you know, finding all that out, the journey of, you know, what's out there. So what I've got in process is another spinning project. So that fiber was the fiber that I sent my partner, and then this is the fiber that my partner sent me. This is Wool Gatherings, and it's Polworth. She said it didn't have a colorway name. I think this umbrella with this overcast day is really not doing the yarn colors or the fiber colors any favors, but that's okay. You know, there's like a peach, there's a little bit of a, I don't know, a soft rose maybe, some purple, gray, pretty stuff. This I am spinning on my Kromsky Sonata, so that's what this bobbin is from. I have the mahogany version, and I enjoy the fire out of it. Her name is Frances Sonata, because she was delivered to me at Lake Francis at the Into the Wool Fiber Retreat in 2018 by Gene of Two Guys Yarn, who is an attendee, and he and his husband are Kromsky dealers. So he brought me the wheel all set up for me, gave me lesson, although I will tell you that Kromsky really doesn't need any lessons if you already are familiar with spinning on a wheel, or maybe even if you're not. We have a wheel tasting every year at Into the Wool, and we had 2 Kromskys the year that I just, you know, sat down to try one, and both of them did not require any tweaking on my part or nothing for me to get, you know, something that I was happy with. I had a few other experiences. I think Ashford, like I was fighting the thing. Yeah, Louette was okay. But yeah, I think Kromsky is my brand. I really, when I went out to get a wheel, I really liked the look of the Minstrels the best, as far as the style of the wheel. But when I tried one at Maryland Sheep and Wool, as it turned out, I think that was 2018 also, when I knew I was going to buy one, the mother of all was just too high for me. I'd have to sit and like feed up, and I maybe potentially could have got a higher chair, but I just didn't think it was going to be comfortable for me. So I am very happy with my Sonata purchase. I would definitely get another Kromsky product. I've never tried one of their big wheels, the Polonaise, or I can't think of what the other one is, but you know, the more classic looking spinning wheels. But I would like to try one of those also. That was a whole aside to tell you about this here fiber. So yeah, I took this braid of 2 ounces and I split it down into 4 long sections. I prefer to spin in really more of a pencil roving kind of prep, and then I pre-draft it. And thin and a lot of yardage is kind of my default, so I think that doing the pencil roving aids me in that. So yeah, that is that. I've kind of put spinning on hold for right now. I cannot leave my wheel out. That's why I think I've really enjoyed having the Nano, because that fits in a lunch bag. So the Sonata has to be, you know, put away and kept away from all them cats up in my house. So that's that. And maybe by the next time I podcast, I'll have it finished. Likely so. But I've got my next spin picked out of a full braid. The Spotlight knit along has started for Into the Wool, and I've got some fiber. I'm a lucky girl. I've got fiber stashed from Dana of Unwind Yarn Company. She is no longer dyeing fiber, and she was so good at it. But her supplier went up on prices on her a year or 2 ago, and she's just not able to carry it any longer. So I've been kind of holding tightly to my stash, but you can't do that with fiber because it'll compact, and then that will be no good. So I bought this fiber. I can't remember if it was at the retreat. Oh my goodness, I had it laying in the sun. Now I'm gonna have to take it out of the bag. And I apologize for crinkling. I had it laying in the sun, and the bag is sweating. Whoops, my bad. Okay, so this is Swirl BFL, and Bougainvillea is the colorway. And I cannot wait to get this on the wheel. As I just finished saying that BFL is my favorite, and this is not even, from what I can tell, this is not doing it justice. This is bright. It's beautiful, bright and beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait to see how this turns out. So that's that. So I'll be spinning this for Spotlight Knit Along because Dana is a vendor. Of course she's a vendor. It's her shindig. So it's always an excellent opportunity to get to purchase things from her in person. Although I've never gotten anything from her that I was disappointed in. Okay, so that's all the spinning. Let me refer back to my notes in case there's anything I'm forgetting. Okay, so yeah, completed spinning the socks for my niece. And that little hat that I showed last time, if you were with me last time, I was knitting a hat for the sibling of the baby that I had made the hat. I'd finished a baby hat, and then I was knitting a hat for the sibling. Well, as it turned out, the hat did not fit the sibling. It was a little too small. So I just asked Mom to pass it along to someone who could use it, and I will be making another one, this time with head measurements given, so that hopefully the second go round it will fit the child. But of course, you know, it's pretty hot here, so there's no worries that she's missing out on a wool hat right now, or should say acrylic because it was not wool, it was acrylic. Okay, I've gotten back to working on my northeasterly a little bit. I went back, and I think it was episode 6 that I last talked about it, and since then I've made some progress, because I think when I showed it the last time there was only this on this side and, you know, maybe some of this on this side, and then that was it. So it has grown some. I've been working on it mainly when I'm watching TV. This is where I've stopped with this. I think I'm going to add one more color to this and then call it good. I'm looking for it to be a lap blanket for me. So I will probably need to go about 5 columns. Yeah, 5-6 columns. But I'm liking this project as far as a easy TV knitting project. I've been watching, I'll go ahead and talk about that now, watching DCI Banks on Prime, and this is mainly what I'm working on when I'm watching that. I kind of exhausted all of my other Acorn TV and Netflix, all my BBC America, like all those British shows. I've blown through them all. So I was excited to find another one that I could sink into, and DCI Banks is one of them, because I like detective shows, British detective shows, mainly, if I can get them. And there are quite a few out there, so all the better. Okay, and then I also picked my Advent wrap back up. When I showed it the last time, I think I had mulled wine was the last mini that I had added. Now I've done drifts and the Who's Are a Bed, which, whoo, baby, this is a pretty one. And then I'm working on Peppermint Party at the moment. I sat out here the other evening and added a couple, I don't know, I think I added this in-between color and then, 2 rows of the Peppermint Party, but that's coming along. I think there are only 5 or 6 more to add. So that's that. And it looks like that's probably pretty much everything I've got to talk about. I do want to share my new cup. Now, last time I said that I would not be purchasing any more cups. We live in a small house. I don't need a superfluous amount of cups, I believe was my exact words. And, I don't know. I'm fickle. I'm just a fickle girl. So, this cup sat in Dana's shop for, I don't know, a while. And so clearly it was meant to be mine. This lighting is not doing a darn thing for it, but it's holographic goodness. And then on this side it says it might be water, it might be whiskey. Currently it is most definitely water, because I think I also said last time that I was doing quite a bit of drinking. And okay, now here, y'all, I need you to put away your preconceived notions right now and open your mind for just a minute, because I'm going to tell you something. I started Weight Watchers, and right now immediately you're going, what? Like, you don't look like you need Weight Watchers. Well, let me just calm down. I have never been one that needed to worry about my weight. I'm always been able to eat whatever I wanted, no consequences. And in the last year, now there have started to become consequences. I've put on, I would say, I think about 10 pounds over, since my birthday, since I turned 39. Well, maybe even a little before then. And it's fluctuating between 10 and 12 pounds. Okay, no big deal. 10, 12 pounds. Yeah, I could have used to gain a little weight. But it was steady climbing little by little, and my fear was, or my logic was, is that, okay, 10 pounds this year, 10 pounds next year, you multiply that by 10 years and you're looking at 100 pounds. I weigh 5'2". I can't afford 100 pounds. So, also my mother advised me that whatever weight I wanted to be, I needed to be that weight before I turned 50, because she said when she turned 50, she said all of a sudden, it just, she exploded. So I'm taking that advice. It's not so much about losing weight as it is retraining myself, or learning for the first time what I need to do to not get that extra 100 pounds on my frame. And one big part of that, I realized, is the alcohol. What a time in my life to discover alcohol is when it's going to be really awful to me. So, I'm not adhering strictly to everything. I'm using a lot of common sense. I'm not going to be nutty, but I also, for cardiac health, you see I'm wearing a Fitbit now. When I started this thing, my resting heart rate, I think was like 77, which is still, in a good range for a woman my age. But since wearing it, it's now dropped to 63, and it's only been 2 weeks. So just being more mindful of things. So, like I said, I'm not looking to be a drastic weight loss. I'm just looking more for, hey girl, maybe you can't drink 4 Starbucks in 2 days' time and have no consequences. Or, that box of Swiss cake rolls, no, you cannot consume the entire box in, a day and a half and think that everything's going to be hunky-dory and your pants are going to fit the next day. So just a little bit of common sense that is the new norm for me. And there's also been a lot of water, especially for me. I'm a huge coffee drinker, which, I'm still drinking coffee, but I'm really trying to get on that water wagon for the good of all. So I thank you for, not judging or keeping your judgment to yourself. And sounds like my husband's home. Yep, I live with some hellions. Although I can't say anything because I like to spin some tires on my car as well whenever my son and I are looking to get into some trouble. So I think that's all I really have to share today. So thank you for joining me. I'm gonna gather up this stuff and get myself in the house because it's really uncomfortable out here. And yeah, I don't know when I'll see you again, but take care until I do. Bye, y'all.